this moment, for this practice, you feel steady, anchored, safe. And then slowly, with your eyes still closed, drop your chin. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Move back through semicircles to your left shoulder. Each time you move, take a pause if you need to, if you find a really stiff area or any stickiness or any areas that are tight. Using anything extra you need to increase that stretch. It might be a hand across the head, or it might be a gentle massage from the base of the ear down the side of the neck into the top of the shoulder. Create a little more space through that neck. And then slowly bring your chin back to center. Take a breath, lift your arms, open your eyes. And exhale, hands come through to your heart center. Just pick up any foot. If this is really tricky for you, then maybe sit a little higher, but I want you to hold on to the ankle with one hand, and with the other hand you're going to do big circles, so rotating that foot one way and then the other. And it's quite okay if you feel some crunching. If there's any sharp pain, then go cautiously. You will notice that as you move, you might feel a sensation in your knee. It's the fascia being pulled. So a couple of vigorous rotations, really circling through that foot. And then release and give both hands. Take the thumbs if you can, and just gently wipe up the foot, the sole of the foot. Maybe come to each toe, separate each toe and give each toe a little pull. I hope you're not ticklish. Some people are ticklish. My favorite thing of all time, I think, is actually a foot massage. I love foot massage, which is probably why I roll my feet every morning on a ball. And then slowly release. Come onto your hips, your haunches, just a little bit of movement through the legs in case your knees felt trapped. And then come back to the other side. So again, take whatever you need here. And we're going to start by holding firmly with the ankle above the ankle and doing these big circles. So circle one way and then the other. You've probably guessed by now that we'll be having a little experiment with a few balance asanas today. A couple of traditional and a couple not so traditional. Once you've done a few rotations, bring your thumbs to the base of your feet and gently massage or vigorously massage. We have so many sensations in our feet. We often ignore them. We often have bad footwear or walk in a way that is not optimal, and therefore we have issues with ankles, knees, hips, lower back. Separate your toes, give them a wiggle. I think actually the statistics are pretty staggering, that something like 60% of people in their 60s or above have issues with their feet, whether it's a verruca, which can cause pain, or a neuroma, or plantar fasciitis. Okay, and then release and come back. Give both ankles a little roll. Perfect. Feel nice and warm there. We're coming straight over onto all fours and just working through cat and cow. So rounding the spine, really creating this beautiful curve like a cat. And then on your inhale, eye gaze up. Really drop the shoulders. Coming back into your cat. Inhaling into your cow. And notice as you move this sort of symphony between belly and back. This lifting in and up. Think about the front of the spine, buried behind all those internal organs. And then back into neutral. Tuck toes under, walk the hands back, and take a little toe squat. And if you are feeling pain, of course you know the options. Most of you have been practicing with me for quite some time. So it might be one foot flat, or lifting to reduce that body weight, or both. Might feel a bit better today as we've already massaged and warmed up the feet. And then come back onto your horse stance. 10 toenails on the mat. Tuck toes under again and push your body weight right back. So we're in an active child's pose. You might be able to walk your hands back a little and lift the knees off the ground. You're starting to really use every toe as a stable base here. Come back onto your knees, walk the hands forward, gently take the thighs to the mat and ripple down onto your belly. Hands stack. Lengthen your legs, a little rock through the hips. And then take the feet, the knees are bent, the feet are touching, so the insides of the feet are touching together. Toes lifting up to the sky. Take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, see if you can lift your thighs a little off the ground. It might just be the knees elevated just a little, starting to squeeze those glutes. And then release and relax. Give the legs a shake. Make your way to a Sphinx pose. So elbows connected to the mat. Soften your face, soften your expression. Take the shoulders back and take 3 deep breaths here. Every time you breathe out, finding more space through the front of the spine, the belly, the chest. If you're warm, some of you look like you're basking in glorious sunshine. Feel free to come into an up dog. Keep your thighs connected to the mat. Beautiful. And slowly make your way back into child's pose. Arms come forward, but really settle the hips back and soften. This is a resting pose with arms just softly landing on the mat. All right, let's begin to move. So ripple up onto all fours. Tuck toes under. Zip up through the belly, so really lift the belly like there's a harness pulling you up. Let the knees hover, pressing into your finger pads, and then make your way into down facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So from your down dog, walk and notice the journey of each foot. Notice which parts of your skin on the base of the foot are touching, which are lifted. When you walk, try lifting the toes when the heel connects to the mat.
So the toes are flying up, the heels connected. And then switch. And when you're walking through your down dog, just notice what's happening with the edges of your feet. Are you pronating or supranating? So are you preferring the outer edge of your foot or the inner edge? And bring the knees back to the mat. Toenails on the mat, draw the hands back. And inhale. Maybe lift through the belly. That might not feel good for you. You might stay here just reclining, walking the hands back. If you're able to lift, aim the belly button up to the sky. A nice stretch through the ankles. Now we're just taking one more stretch through the ankles, so come back into this position. If you do have an issue with your ankles, this won't be possible, so come back into this lovely stretch. Otherwise, walk the hands back right next to your heels, your ankles, and see if you can lift the knees up a little. You feel that stretch across the front of the feet. Take any variation you want. Lay back down, maybe move the hands forward. If you've got bony protrusions in your feet like me, it might not be optimum. Let's see if you can just stretch, take a little stretch. And then walk the hands back. Shake the toes out. That's an intense stretch for the front of the foot, the feet. Tuck toes under, coming to down facing dog. And feel grounded here, pressing palms of the fingers into the mat. And bend your knees, walk your feet into your hands. And relax here and wide, in forward fold, head hanging down. And bend the knees a lot, eye gaze forward. Palms come together as you press into the ground and really notice every part of the base of your foot pressing, like making a footprint into the ground. Inhaling, rolling up. Reaching tall. And exhaling, arms behind. Press the knuckles to the earth. And release. Excellent. So, coming from your Tadasana, just focusing a little on this proprioception, these messages we get through our feet. So from your Tadasana or mountain pose with hands in heart center, just let the toes lift up. So the toes are all lifted up. Then land the toes and lift the heels a little. And then take the heels down and let the toes lift up, and maybe the ball of one foot completely will lift up. Maybe your right foot, toes down, lift heels, take heels back down, lift toes, and maybe this left ball of the foot comes up. So really you're on just your heels. Maybe you can even rock back onto both heels. Changing this center of gravity. And then relax. Shake it out. Walk, rotate. Okay. One little more strength building exercise for feet before we go into our balance. So from Tadasana, from the front of your mat, always zip in through the belly. Inhale, arms lift. As you exhale, fold down to the ground. Shake your head, relax. Knees bent is quite okay unless it feels good for you to have straight legs. Inhale, come to flat back extend. Now in flat back extend, press the toes into the mat. Toes and heel, look at those toes working hard, squeezing every muscle in your body. Exhale, back to the ground. Bend the knees, palms come together. Inhale, rolling up all the way, reaching tall. And exhale, arms behind. Okay, a little challenge for you. Inhale, come into chair pose or Utkatasana. Now if you've just woken up or you're feeling a little vulnerable through your back, keep your hands into heart center, otherwise lengthen. From your chair pose, let the heels lift up. And take the heels down, let the toes lift up. Ouch, that's the hard part. Try it again, let the heels lift up. Stay in your chair pose, really working strength through the legs. And then reverse and let the toes lift up. Beautiful, one more. Those legs might be shaking by now. Heels up. And then toes up. Beautiful. Relax, hands come down. Shake it out in your forward fold. And then let's step straight back into a plank position. Let's take the pressure out of the legs for a moment. From your plank, make sure wrists are under shoulders. Knees down or knees up as you float down through chaturanga and then land. Inhale, come up into Sphinx pose. Hold your Sphinx. Elbows down and soften. Just breathe now. Let the feet just have a nice little holiday. The legs relax. And if your back is quite happy today, you might let your elbows lift off. Keep the shoulders down. There is a bit of compression in the lumbar in this one. It might not suit everyone. Relax, come back down. Hands next to chest, ripple up. Make your way to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down facing dog. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Then take your right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Point the toes. Bend the knee, bring the knee in under your chest. Left toes are really pressing into the ground here, but the rest of your foot is up. And step in to a low lunge position. Nice work. So let's explore how much more proprioception we have through our feet. Let your hands go. You should feel stable. Those feet really grounded, working for you. Palms come together. Inhale, rise up into a high lunge all the way. Exhale into a low lunge, hands next to heart center. Hold shoulders back. Then tip your body forward. Take the weight into the front leg. That foot really grounded. See if you can lightly hop up and up into warrior three. The back heel is pushing back. That left heel is dropping down. Yeah, amazing. I just lost balance. So looking really good, guys. Hands down. Ground your back foot. Step back, down facing dog. Take a few breaths. Shake your head. Then take your left leg up to the sky. Point the toes. Really lift up and press strongly through both hands. Rise up onto the toes of that right foot. Bring the left knee in under your body, all the way in. Hug it into core plank. And step in and land. This front foot, the left foot, really is glued to the mat. So much so, you pull in through the belly, lift your arms, rise up all the way. Lengthening, coming into your tallest height. Really long, and then exhale. Hands to heart center, drop the back knee. You feel stable here. This front foot is anchored firmly. Holding on, then starting to lean your torso forward. Using the toes on the front foot, lightly hop and step up into warrior three. Push that heel back. The right heel is back. Drop the right hip. Looking fantastic, guys. Yeah, lovely. Hold on. And then take the hands to the mat. And step back, down facing dog. Excellent. Take the knees to the mat. Toes relaxed. Slide the hands back. And lift up through your core. Stay there and breathe. Exhale, come back and stay in your
seated position. Take the hands to the floor, maybe in front to the sides of the knees or part way back, and see if you can gently let the knees hover again. Starting to stretch the front of the ankles. And relax back. Hands down. So you're going to like this part. It's a deep stretch through the hip before we come to our balance, our tree poses. Tuck toes under, coming to down facing dog. Take a few breaths. Right leg points up to the sky. Point the toes. This time bend the knee, flex the foot, and really open the hip. Like you're trying to walk on the opposite wall or land behind you. Take your eye gaze to your hands and let that knee float in and come to swan pose. So the shin lands and lengthen your back leg. Now you're at home, so you can use whatever cushions are around you, whatever you need. Ideally in your swan pose, your left leg is long, left toenails on the ground, left hip pushing down. When you're there, relax. So I want the weight of the body to really press down into this leg and open through the glute and the hip. There's a reason for that. So just soften here. Let me just take a look here. Now, those of you who anatomically like this pose, it's a beautiful pose to be in, and you all look really comfortable there. Any issues with knees or hips, it won't be so pleasant, so feel free to prop up that right hip on a cushion, get height into the pose, or even come to 90-90. Just take 3 or 4 more breaths here and really settle. Really let the weight of your body, the weight of your chest press into that right calf, the right thigh, stretching the outer hip. Excellent. Nice, so we're going to need this opening a little later. Okay, walk your hands back up and just take a few breaths. Now, if that was really painful or uncomfortable, you can roll to the side and swing legs around. But if you're feeling okay, tuck the left toes under, lift the left leg, press fingers into the mat, and step the right leg back, down facing dog. If that leg's gone to sleep, walk through your dog, or take any movement you need. And then from your down facing dog, the left leg lifts up to the sky. Bend the knee, flex the foot, and really open that hip. So it's like this left knee is trying to stack above the right hip. Both armpits pushing down. Hold and breathe. Notice what's happening in this right foot. You should feel sturdy and anchored. And then take your eye gaze to your hands. Bring the left leg in. Come to swan or pigeon on this side. Adjust. Take what you need. It's very common that one side is different. So just honor that in your body. Every tree and every forest is different in a little way. That's a good thing. So you might want to prop the left hip up on the cushion. And when you're comfortable, just soften and relax. Take a few deep breaths. So I know many of you, Claire and Susan, Jenny and Alan, are quite comfortable in this pose as well. Those of you who are, Jane, looking good. Yeah, well done. And Fiona, looking comfortable. So if you are, really let gravity pull you deeper here. So breathing out. If you feel that there's a pain or an issue or something feels stuck, move around. Just taking another 3 or 4 deep breaths here. Really letting go. Susie, I know you can't answer me, but give me a thumbs up if you're in a different location to your mum now. You are, you've moved on. Oh, well, I'm honoured you're joining me, but I bet your mum and sister are sad. All right, slowly walk your hands back. Tuck the toes under from the right leg. Lift that knee. So all the weight into the fingers and the back foot, and thread the back foot. That foot back into down facing dog. Take a few breaths, shake through your head. And then simply bend your knees and walk your feet into your hands. Shake the head, hang out here. Bend the knees, palms together. Inhale to roll up. All the way up. And exhale. Hands behind, press knuckles to the earth. Open through the front. So, a little experiment, and then I'm going to give you an option, and you can choose which variation you want to go for. Start by keeping your feet hip distance apart, and come back to that little rocking motion. So toes lifted, then heels lifted. Toes, then heels. Breathing and settling soft through your shoulders. So now we have to think like that tree. We have to find our roots and find our strength. So the option will be to simply come into a tree pose and work through this by bending with both legs grounded. But if you can, see if you can pick your right leg up and take it across on top. So the heel, it's just pushing against that. We're going to come down into a figure 4 stretch. It's kind of like a half lotus standing pose. Good. So once we know where we're going, I'll try the other side, then I'm going to add a little bit of movement. Release, come back up to standing, free the foot, give a little shake. So option again is just to open through the hip, that the toes remain connected and you can still lean forward. Otherwise, lift up, take the ankle onto the thigh, hands to heart center, and bend that right leg as you come down. So here, your leg's in the same position it was in swan. We've already opened up that hip. So your only challenge should be the balance. Release and come back up. So we're going to add a little movement. Choose whatever option you want to go for. The whole time we're working, if you feel unbalanced or frustrated, let it go. It's irrelevant. Those feelings, the only thing that matters is just trying again. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. From a strong Tadasana with belly in, bring the right foot up and open through the hip. Now this time, as you bend the knee, reach your arms forward. And you might come as far down as you can, so arms are parallel to the floor. You might sink even lower. Ground that left foot strongly into the mat. Stay there, sweep the arms behind you like you're diving forward and the chest comes down to the shin. Arms winging behind you, behind you, behind you. Stay there. Amazing. Hands come down. If it's possible, if you can connect, hands come to the floor. If not, you might take the hands to the block. Or you might take the foot straight down. Otherwise, palms together as you roll up. Come back up all the way up to standing. That leg is still there. And open. Have you got leg burn yet? Oh, that looked beautiful, Laura. Well done. Let's try the other side. So, belly in. Feet are grounded. This, I'm mirroring you, so this right foot is really grounded. Left leg comes up and across. Open through the hip. So before we go into our movement, just think light. Think about being light. As you bend, the arms reach forward. softly, palms facing together, eye gaze down. Now really aim for length with those arms. Drop this left knee away. Hold and breathe, hold and breathe. Arms swing behind you, softly, slowly. Little fingers heading up to the sky, chest coming to the shin. Holding, you feel that intense stretch. And then hands slowly come to the floor. Balance is out of the way. And how lovely does that stretch feel through your glute? Let's engage, find that strength. Can you bring palms together and roll up? That is tough. Rolling up. Release. Shake, shake. Beautiful. So I'm going to give you a fun option, and then we're simply going to finish with our vrikshasana or tree pose, all with the aim of feeling grounded and rooted. So I'll just show you, I don't know if I can do it, I haven't done it for a while, but one option, if you can get to your head to the floor, you could play with an arm balance by hooking the elbow into the leg, bringing the hands forward, really pressing and connecting here, and then slowly taking this leg off. And holding, holding, holding. So just a little option if those of you who want a little more fun. Otherwise, back to your Tadasana. Belly in. Deep breath in, shoulders down. Reset. Really feel your toes like tentacles creeping, connecting with the ground. These are your roots. You are strong. There is no storm that can blow you down. Peel the right heel off and bring it up. So you may have lost some of your roots, but you still feel firmly grounded. As you push your hips back, your arms float forward. Hold, hold, stay there. Keep that right foot flexed. And softly move the arms behind. Like wings, little fingers come up to the sky. And then slowly your wings come back, hands come to the floor. The option is there for you if you want to. Experiment with that little arm balance. Let the back foot lift. And then, nice. If you've had enough, take your right foot down, otherwise palms together and roll up. Really engaging through your belly. Oh, well done, Fiona. Excellent. Nice, Jenny and Alan. Beautiful. Last side. This is the most challenging it gets. Our tree will be so wonderfully easy when we get to it. Really pull in through the belly. Take a few breaths and soften, pressing all parts of your feet into the mat. And slowly peel left leg off and open. Cross it over the thigh. Push this leg away. This is exactly as we were in swan or pigeon. Push your hips back. Reach with your arms forward and forward and forward. See if you can narrow the gap between shin and chest. Hold on, stay there. This right foot is really anchored. Swing the arms slowly, softly back. Good, Jane. Yeah. Oh, nice, Susan. Oh, amazing, John. Good girl, Susie. And then nice work. And then slowly take the hands to the floor. Nice, Claire. The option, if you want to try the funky arm balance, give it a go. And then our final challenge. Bring it all good. Yeah, amazing. Palms together. That is awesome, guys, as you roll up. Yeah, nice strength. Shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. All right. That was intense. But you should have felt when you were sort of compressing down here, this beautiful stretch for the glute. And sometimes
if we take on this imagery of a tree feeling rooted and grounded, we trust ourselves a little more. So we're going to finish with traditional vrikshasana or tree with a few variations. So just rock the feet again. Soft knees. And then hands to heart center. Your right foot is going to lift. We'll find any variation, lower leg or upper leg. Maybe low or vary with the two, it's up to you. Just take a few breaths here. Before we rush, find stillness. Press the left toes down and trust yourself. So if you feel unstable or wobbly, that's not the end. That's the challenge. That's the wind. You can maintain balance. Pull in and up through your belly. And let your arms lift overhead, branches wide. Hold on. Keep opening through this right hip. Amazing. Beautiful trees, everyone. It looks fantastic. Hands to heart center. Option here. I will try the other side and then come back to an option. Shake it out. Pull in through your belly. Feel soft, grounded, rooted. Hands to Anjali Mudra. And the left foot comes to the lower shin, the upper shin, maybe the upper thigh. In your tree, it's an equal balance. The foot presses with strength into the thigh and the thigh presses back. Stand tall. Your trees are strong, tall trees. You are trusting this balance. You are connecting every pad of every toe to the mat. Inhale, arms come wide, branches wide. This beautiful, glorious tree standing firmly rooted, even through storms. Amazing. Hands back to heart center. If you have had enough of balance, we're just for one more little variation of tree. If you've had enough of balance, feel free to come onto your back and do a little pelvic tilting and maybe coming up to bridge. Otherwise, final balance. So recognizing every part of each foot and feeling stable. Bringing the right knee up and open to the side. The right hand comes under and the left arm comes out for balance. You might stay here. The option is extend your left leg. Or if you want to play and you feel rooted, take your peace fingers around your big toe and come to big tree. Wherever you are, press that left foot firmly into the ground. The branches, they're almost irrelevant. Your roots are indestructible. Stay there, 2 more breaths. Yeah. Amazing. Nice, Kim, and relax. Other side. You'll be pleased to know I have a lovely little reading, a really short poem at the end in line with our theme. And so a good 7-8 minutes relaxation today. From your firm base, your Tadasana, hands to heart center. Peel the left heel off and come up. And then left knee opens to the side. So take your left hand under the knee and stay there. Right arm out for balance, palm faces down. Feel rooted, strong. Maybe you'll extend this leg. Maybe you'll take your peace fingers around your big toe and explore big tree. If you're there, really press strongly with that toe into the hand It's an equal force that helps stabilize the torso. Stay there and breathe. Yeah, nice. Amazing. Good girl, Virginia. Fantastic. Nice. Well done, guys. Relax. Come down onto the ground. It's going to finish with a stretch before we come to our Shavasana. So, start by hugging the knees in. A little roll side to side. And then take both legs up to the sky. Heels push up to the sky. Arms wide, palms facing down. So not only are we grounded and rooted with our feet, but here our body is stable. Our spine is grounded. Each vertebra pressing into the ground. Bend. Rotate through the ankles one way then the other. Flex and point your feet. And take the soles of the feet together. Come into Baddha Konasana or butterfly, supine butterfly. See if those knees can gently come closer to the mat. As the hips open, take arms overhead, holding onto each forearm. Just relax. The spine pressed again into the mat, shoulder blades into the mat. Finding this freedom of movement through the hips. Start to connect with your breath. And take a few more deep breaths here. And then in your own time, completely just lengthen the legs. Out to the corners of the mat. And free your arms, take your arms by your side, arms facing up. And connect more deeply with the breath, visualizing the breath traveling in through your nose, down into your chest, expanding through the rib cage, into the belly, releasing. This deep rhythmic breath. Breath is grounding you, softening you. Don't know if you can hear that noise, but it's a helicopter going overhead at the moment. Start to lose any tension. Lose the tension in your shoulders, the tension in your jaw. And take just these few moments to really soften your mind as well as your body. A little reading for you today is by Dana Folds, and it's called Walk Slowly. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper. And I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget,
catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going. That many times, I can make the choice to stop, to breathe and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Let all of your body settle. So yoga, I have always said, is there are 8 limbs of yoga. Asana, or the physical practice, is only one. Pranayama, of course, breath is another second one that we use every day. But in this time of instability in the world, sometimes it's nice to take our practice of yoga off the mat into our lives a little more deeply. So remind yourself to stop and to breathe. Remind yourself to think like a tree. Stay grounded. You can shelter this storm. You can provide shelter for others. Seasons come and seasons go. Everything changes. Certainly not always easy to maintain a stable train of thought or a positive train of thought. But coming back to your breath and coming back to a simple yoga asana like tree pose, vrikshasana, can help spark off that little safety net that you might need. Just settle now, let it go. Breathe in a sense of pleasure and satisfaction of having completed this practice. Focus on this feeling of non-judgment, non-criticism of yourself, of others. And then with your next deep in-breath, feel a little movement return. Maybe open and close your hands. Certainly flex and point your feet. And really notice what's happening in these extremities of your body. And slowly hug your knees into your chest. In your own time completely. Just roll to one side.